before.
Yes,
and they went
that's
away.
how it started, yes.
And now you see problems on the right. So I don't feel very much is wrong on the left side at this point, but on the right side there's some damage to one of the major ligaments in the knee. So this bone is the tibia,
Yes,
this bone's the femur,
yes,
and then in the front here is the kneecap.
yes.
So there's a couple of things I believe. The knee has quite a lot of swelling, but this kneecap I think sits over here. It should sit there, but I think that's old and we were born that way. The real problem that we're limping now is, so this piece of plastic is the ACL, or the anterior cruciate ligament, the same thing that lots of humans damage.
Yes.
So a couple of things that I feel. The big one is that this lower bone should slide forwards. Should not slide forwards.
not.
When I did my exam, I'm able to do that, okay? And then also, when I extend the knee, so stretch it like that, it hurts. And so that's why what you've been doing isn't working, because essentially, like, no drugs in the world will fix the fact that the knee is doing that. Now, the bad news is I'm going to tell you that you should do surgery. The good news is these dogs do great. So knee repairs for us are the most common thing that we do. And so almost all these dogs are able to go back to normal athletic function with no limitations, no problems at all. Okay.
So he will be able to run and
Yep,
do
he should, like, if you said if he was a police dog, I would tell you he could be a police dog again. Okay? And the surgery that I would do in humans, the most common thing is that we actually replace the entire ligament. In dogs, we do something a little bit different. And so this would be a model of what I would do. This is the foot, the ankle, and the knee. Okay, so right now when he's walking on that, sliding forwards like this. Okay, so instead of replacing the ligament, we change the position of the joint. So on x-rays, we actually cut the top of the, we draw some lines on x-rays. We actually ultimately cut the top of this bone, so the tibia here, with a curve, and we turn it, okay? We put a little bone plate and screws on here, so there's some metal goes in the leg. Now when I push up on the foot, it no longer shoots forwards. So essentially it functions like a normal knee, only we change the way that it works. This is a little confusing, and so his knee will still move normally. It just doesn't pop forwards when we're walking on it. Okay, so this actually should hold up for their entire life. So it's not like you would say, okay, this is going to work for 2 years and then go bad. Like, this is something that should last their entire life. That you're not doing anything wrong. So we do know that basically I pretty much see all sizes and breeds of dogs with this problem. So from Yorkshire Terriers to huge big Mastiffs and everyone in between. The most common...
Why is that so common?
It's partly their genetics, actually. So in humans, it's more that we do something to damage it, whether it's football, basketball, whatever it might be. In dogs, it seems like some dogs, their ligaments are just weaker than others. So that my point of that is you or your husband or anyone else didn't cause this. Basically getting this dog caused it, if that makes sense. So greyhounds are about the only breed that don't get torn ligaments. They get plenty of other problems, so that's not me saying get a greyhound, but I think people often feel bad or look for why did this happen, or whose fault is it, or what could we have done, and it's absolutely no one's fault. Now, the good news is it's fixable. The bad news is that it takes surgery.
Is it swollen?
It's a little bit swollen, yeah. So especially when I feel the knee, it's swollen on the inside, and that's actually tells me that it's been going on for a while, which is what you told Sarah, and that's the body trying to make some scar tissue. So truthfully, this feels like the knees that I see, because very often people hope that it's like a muscle strain or something that will just go away, and so often, especially when it's the first time you've had a dog have a problem like this, people come in after a few weeks or a few months, and so yes, it is a little bit swollen.
How come that the other leg got healed?
I'm not sure what the problem was with the other leg because
That
it
we
was.
saw he was coming downstairs and his leg went off.
But what I mean is, there's lots of reasons
Uh-huh.
that it may not even be that he had the same problem in that knee, right? I mean, dogs get disc problems like spine problems like humans do. So if who knows? Like that knee doesn't feel like it's torn now. So it may whatever you treated may not have been the same problem, right? So who knows? Because I don't know what the problem was then. And I think there are some dogs that get minor like injuries that if you rest them they will get over, but once the ligament is totally torn, and once it gets like that they don't heal. Interestingly, I guess this is one of the major structures of the knee, but its blood supply is terrible. And so unfortunately, there are some ligaments and tendons in the body that if you can put them in a splint or a bandage or something like that and give them a while, they will heal. And this one is such an important structure but has such poor blood supply, it doesn't matter how long you wait, it's not going to heal.
Okay. So he also shows the arthritis on the
Yep.
X-ray.
And
how much that is?
Doesn't matter. So the knee joint is very forgiving when it comes to arthritis. So like this is the ankle joint, ankle joint, and this is the elbow joint. If they have arthritis in those joints, is generally a bad deal. The knee and the hips are often where it doesn't matter. So the bit of arthritis that the X-rays are not the greatest, but I would tell you that the amount of arthritis that is there doesn't matter.
Is that going to cause problems as he ages?
No, that's what I'm saying is
No,
it
it's
doesn't
not.
matter now, and I don't think it matters
It's
in
not
the
going to
future either.
be.
No, I think I see dogs that have really, really bad arthritis that we do surgery on and they still do great. So I don't think you have to worry about the arthritis that's there. Again, if it was in other joints, like the ankle or the elbow or the wrist joint, then I would say yes, you might have to worry about it. But with where it is, I don't think you need to. So it probably doesn't seem like it, but you could see me for way worse things.
Okay.
So I see dogs with cancer.
That's good news.
No, it is. I mean, I see dogs with. I mean, yesterday we fixed 4 fractures. So we see dogs that have broken legs, cancer, spinal injuries. There's lots of people that would say, "I wish my dog only had a knee problem." So yes, they need surgery, but ultimately should do very well. Now, the healing time that you're looking at, from the time that you do surgery to when I would say, okay, your dog can run, jump, play, and do whatever they want, is probably 2.5 to 3 months. So initially, they need to be leash walks only. The first 2 weeks, we give you a cone so that they can't look at the incision. I do actually want them to get some activity. So like leash walks, you might start out with 5 minutes and then gradually build them up. And so the goal, I would see you do surgery, I'd see you a couple of months later, and then at that point I would hope that you were maybe doing 15 to 20 minute walks a couple of times a day, and then I'll say, okay, everything looks good, now you can do more activity.
In home, I try to restrict him from jumping on the couch, on the bed, the stairs, all those things.
At this
I try.
point, you can let him do whatever he wants.
Oh, really?
It's done. He's not making the damage worse. Now, when we do surgery, all those things, yes, not on the bed, not on the couch. If you have stairs at home, like I would.
I block them.
Perfect. So when you're home, you can have more freedom. When you're not at home, then either a kennel or your kitchen or a bathroom, something like that is where I would want it to be. And we will give you a long list of instructions to go home that remind. So obviously I told you now, you would get it written down on paper, and then when you come in after surgery, we'll spend 30 minutes going over all of that and making sure that it's all clear.
Okay.
And we send a copy to Well, the veterinarian, I know you've seen a couple, but I think it's
Yes.
Sunridge, right? Down on Eastern is the
Dr.
hospital.
Tillman, yeah. Is,
Yes, yeah. So we'll send a copy of the notes over there so that they have them too.
Okay.
And honestly, for most of the veterinarians in town, this is the most common surgery we do. So most of the veterinarians that you will deal with are actually familiar
So what's
with
the
this.
level of success always?
90 to 95% of dogs will be
90 to
completely
95.
normal. And for surgery, you're never going to find anything really better than that because
How long it takes the surgery?
the surgery, I would say probably the total anesthetic time is about 2 hours and the surgery is about 45 minutes to an hour of that. So half of it is shaving, cleaning, taking x-rays and setting up the surgery room, and about half of the time is my surgery time. So I think there's 2 points to your question, how long is surgery, but really how long are they under anesthesia?
Yeah.
So I would say a maximum of 2 hours of anesthesia and up to an hour in surgery. Okay,
So
scar will be about that
He's
long.
able to go home the same day?
The day after.
Oh, the day
so
after.
because I like to give them morphine drugs for pain, and the first night after anesthetic is always the worst one. And so we have doctors and nurses in the hospital all night. So the day that we do surgery, you would stay that night and go home the next day.
Is that here or in another
Here.
center? Okay. And okay, can you tell me about?
I'm going to get you the cost. So what I'm going to print for you is everything including your follow-up. So it's the surgery, the bone plate and screws, staying overnight, and then when we take x-rays 2 months after surgery, that's all built in so you can kind of see this is everything that I need to get fixed. Now, knee surgeries are not emergencies. So if you said, hey, I want to do it next week, we can do that. If you said, oh, I've got to wait 3 or 4 weeks for, you're going out of town or anything like that, that's okay.
Okay.
So whether I did it today or I did it in a month, the outcome would be the same, where 90 to 95% of the time you should have a completely normal dog. And he should be normal for the rest of his life.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Sounds
I'm going to give you this. That has my email on it, so if your husband, I'm not sure how much that will make sense to your husband.
Yeah,
so
I
if he
want
has
to-
questions for me, I'm actually,
Yes.
what I'm going to write on here is the
Yes.
name of the surgery, or the abbreviation.
I have an ACDS.
Perfect. Sarah's going to print you out a handout that also has information on the surgery. That's basically the abbreviation of it, so your husband can Google that and look it up.
Okay.
Sarah's going to get you some information.
Yes, please.
I'm going to print you the cost stuff, and then Michelle will bring that to you. If you want to schedule surgery and you know when you want to do it, Michelle can help you with
Just
that.
call you.
If you want to talk to your husband and call back, the ladies up front will set it up. So I can do it anytime. I can't really do it this week, but next week or any time after that I can do it.
Okay.
So you would drop him off in the morning, I would do surgery, I will call you right afterwards, I'll be the one that does it. I'll call you right afterwards and let you know that everything went okay, and then we'll call you the next morning and set up a time for you to come get him.
Okay.
Alright, so Sarah will get you that information and I'm going to get you the cost stuff.
Okay, thank
It's
you.
very nice to meet you, and if you or your husband have questions, just email me anytime.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.